Hey guys, got in a couple products from Monstrum Tactical. I'm pretty excited to work with these guys because they bring really high quality, high value products at very affordable prices. They're a company that's been around for 10 to 15 years. And yeah, most of the products are made in China, but they actually stand behind the products and they offer a lifetime warranty on practically everything they sell. And I know other companies offer a warranty, but then that company may be gone, 4 months later or whatever. But Monstrum Tactical has been around, like I said, for quite a few years. And what they've sent over for me to take a look at is the Gen 3 Ghost 1x20 red dot and the Ghost 3x magnifier. So I figured we'll do a real quick unboxing of both things, kind of go over features and specifications. We'll get these things mounted up on something, get to the range, and then give some thoughts on them. First off, I will say that the boxes are extremely nice. I know you're not buying the box, uh, but when a company takes pride in what they're doing and they make this look nice and the box is super, super sturdy, it already tells me a lot about what the product's going to be like. But we can see it's got a 2 MOA reticle. It's using a laser diode system and then that lifetime warranty. And there's our length. Weight's 5.8 ounces. It's got a 50,000 hour battery in it. There's what's going to be included. And there's a website for you. But let's get this out. See how it's packaged. So we got the user manual and warranty stuff on the back of that. Again, warranty. Looks like a tool and some screws. Another tool, some more screws. Lens cleaning cloth. Foam padding. So down in here, it looks like we have the dot itself. There's a mount on it. Have a battery. Another mount. This is a low profile mount. And it looks like a couple lens caps. And these are plastic, they feel like. Make sure that is everything. Yep, okay. I want to real quick show you guys the manual here. Again, 2 MOA. There's 11 levels of illumination, so you got a really, really dim up to a really bright. This does come with shake awake and sleep mode. I believe that the time for shake awake is around the 10-minute mark. So you put your rifle in the safe or whatever, and after about 10 minutes, the dot just automatically powers itself off. And then with the slightest movement, the dot comes back on. So like if you were to grab your rifle to go to use it, your dot will be on for you. It's got a multi-layer lens coating that allows usually for more light transmission, a sharper image. It's made out of 6061 aircraft grade aluminum. It's got a couple different mounts, IPX7 waterproof and fog proof. And I didn't mention it earlier, but Monstrum Tactical is based in California. So even though some of the products are made in China, it is a US based company. Again, that's what we got from them. The battery is a CR 2032. And again, it was a 50,000 hour battery. Operation, shake awake. Okay, it does actually say here it's 1 hour. So if your rifle's sitting for about an hour, it turns off automatically. Talks about mounting, sighting it in, any type of maintenance. And some of the specifications, like I mentioned, it's just a one-time magnification, and the lens is a 20 millimeter. All right, let's kind of get some up close here of the red dot itself. One of the things I always like to look for is, does the anodization of the mount, does it match the optic itself, and this looks like a really close match. I will say down here, this part does look a little bit different than what that does. That looks to be a darker black, but the majority of the mount looks the same. I also look at the glue to see if I can see any type of imperfections in it, or if it's like coming out anywhere. Obviously look for any type of scuffs or nicks. Overall, this looks pretty good. So back here, we have our eyepiece or ocular lens. You've got your windage and elevation adjustments. You got your battery door up here. These are your adjustments for your actual brightness. I do like how it has their branding right there. And then up here it says Monstrum Ghost. And again, it is 2.59 inches. And it said it weighed, what, 5.8 ounces? But I bet that might be without a mount. So let's see what it weighs with that mount on there. It's still pretty close, 6 ounces. And I would have to assume it's going to weigh a little bit less if you use a low profile mount. And these are good if you're using an AK-47, a shotgun, or any rifle really with like low profile sights. As you can see, they've almost like machined the aluminum to kind of protect the turrets there. I will say that it kind of creates like a really sharp edge, and it does make it a little bit more difficult to kind of get your fingers on here. You have to do like really like small turns because your fingers are hitting the two edges here, but those are super smooth coming off. Let's see what that looks like. But yeah, it definitely does make it a little more difficult to get those off, and those threads are long. There we go. So we'll obviously use that tool to make adjustments. Let's see if it's palpable and audible. Those are fairly stiff. And just so you know, on the optic itself, it does not tell you like left or right turns or up or down turns, but it does tell you in here. So I just went to put a battery in, and there's actually already one in it. So you actually get two batteries, and there's some like little nubs on the edge of that, so you don't need any type of tools to remove that at all. And again, 11 levels of brightness. So we're on 0. We'll go through starting at 1 here. And as you can see, just a nice little dot right there. And let's go up here. I will say that that adjustment lever is actually pretty stiff right now. Again, I don't see a whole lot of like reflection down inside that lens there. So let's go to the next one. That's 3. You can start to see a nice bump in that color. Starting to see just a little bit as we get brighter, a little bit of that reflection coming through. Usually if you're outside or at more of a distance than what we are here, you won't see that. Like that table's only like, you know, a foot or two away right now. You can see how that almost looks like it's a starburst. A lot of it's just because of the table being so close. So this is on number 11 here, and it is almost too bright. There definitely is some like starburst pattern going on. Again, you can see it kind of disappears a little bit on my hand versus the table, but there still is an outline around that. That would be a little bit too bright for my liking. Personally, I'd probably keep it on like 7 or 8. And again, it's going to have that auto shut off, you know, after an hour or whatever. So then you pick your rifle back up and it'll be on that same brightness for you. I don't know if it's because of that laser diode technology. But typically you can see like a little emitter somewhere along here, and I honestly don't see it at all. It is whatever the viewing window is what you see completely. Sometimes you have that little emitter sticking up right there, but it's actually very clear glass, and it looks like it's very well made. I don't think I showed you guys the objective lens earlier, but even all of the adhesive and all of that looks really good in there. So after I get done with this initial part of the review, I will leave this sit either on a rifle or just on the table and make sure that shake awake does indeed work like it's supposed to. I do want to show you guys the Ghost Magnifier. I'm not going to spend nearly as much time on this as what I am the Red Dot, but it's got the Helios Prism system on it. It's got the quick engage mount, which that's something I'm really going to like. Also the lifetime warranty. There's our length. It is kind of heavy. It's over 12 ounces. 3 times magnification. So let's get this one out. Again, we have a manual, some more tools, more screws. There's a lens cleaning cloth down in here as well. No padding at all in this box. And this has to be ripped or cut open here. Looks like there's a little tab right there. Get that out of there. So one of the really nice features about this is that you can basically just slide this over and you don't have to push the button like you do on most magnifiers. Quickly show you the manual for it. Again, it's got that quick engage mount. The improved Helios Prism system makes it even more compact. It's got high definition coated lenses. It's made out of 6061 aircraft grade aluminum. IPX7 waterproof, fog proof. Went through that already, what we got in it. Plus about mounting, adjusting. And here's some of our specifications again. 3 times magnification, 3.54 inches, and 12 ounces. So let's quickly take a close-up around the magnifier here, see if we see any type of blemishes or imperfections at all. So far I'm pretty impressed like with their quality control. Anodization looks really good. It's got their branding there. So here you have your eyepiece. This is a diopter adjustment. Let's see how easily that turns. Yeah, that's really smooth. That's basically so if something's not in focus for you, you can move that to make things clear up. Again, we've got windage and elevation adjustments. This is useful on a red dot because when you look through it, the dot may not be in the exact center as you're looking through. So you can turn this and it brings the dot to the middle of your magnifier. And then we have the objective lens out here. This will be kind of difficult to show you on camera here. Probably shaking like crazy with it, but so again, it's a 3 times magnification. So let's just say that you're shooting at 100 yards. Well, it really makes like your dot look like it's like 30 some yards away. So before I get these mounted, I did want to show you, this is the magnifier that I've been using for like the last year or so. And the Monstrum Tactical, it's definitely longer. And then this is what I was talking about, like these ones you kind of have to reach over and hit that button and then it locks there. So then you have to reach and hit it back to bring it back into place. Whereas with the Monstrum Tactical one, once this is mounted, you literally just push it over and then the D10 on this is super strong. You don't have to hit any buttons and you just bring it back. And I'll show you that better once we get it mounted. And before we mount them, I'm working with a completely safe and empty firearm. And just so YouTube knows, adding these optics and magnifiers does not alter this rifle in any way. It doesn't make it do anything different than what it did before. All right, so I mounted the magnifier on here, and I know it looks like it covers that backup sight, but basically once you move this out of the way and then you want to deploy your sight, it still pops up perfectly fine. And then you would just move that back over. All right, got the red dot installed, and then I put the lens covers on there. That rear one's kind of going to be the same thing. You kind of have to move that magnifier out of the way to be able to deploy those. And then once you have that up, you can just slide that back over then. And one thing that's really nice about buying a dot and a magnifier from the same company is that they really are designed to work together right out of the box. You know, I've had other magnifiers where no matter what I did, I could not get the dot to line up with the magnifier. I probably have 40 or 50 different mounts and different risers, different sizes and stuff, and I never could get things to line up quite right. This here should be perfect right out of the box. All right, guys, out at the range here this morning with the Monstrum Tactical Ghost Red Dot Ghost Magnifier. Set up down there at 50 yards. I'm somewhat sighted in. I use that sight mark bore sight, so I at least should be on paper. But we'll probably put 100 rounds through this just to make sure that the dot doesn't shut off or anything crazy like that. There's what that red dot looks like, just kind of looking through the optic itself. I think I'm on maybe level 7 or 8 right there. I didn't really look where I turned it to, but... And then we'll flip the magnifier over. See what that looks like. Just gotta find the right eye relief. So again, Okay, so I've had the red dot and magnifier for a little while now and had a chance to get out to the range and actually use them. So I want to give you guys some thoughts. So let me start by saying there's a big difference between quality budget products versus cheap ones. And these have fantastic build quality. The overall fit and finish is done really well. Crystal clear glass on them. The dot has the laser diode system, which is supposed to make the dot significantly brighter than other red dots. And I will say though, on like the highest setting, like that 11, that it was almost too bright. I do have astigmatism in both eyes, and there was a little bit of a star bursting that was going on. I kept it around 7 or 8 for pretty much most of my shooting. Now, if you don't have any problems with your eyes, 11 might be perfect for you as well. That laser is also supposed to help extend battery life instead of the normal like LED emitter. And then also having that MOTAC or motion activated technology, shake awake, whatever you want to call it, also will help extend your battery life. Using a red dot by itself, I honestly can't go much further than maybe 50, 60 yards and feel like I'm pretty proficient with it. Adding the magnifier basically will almost triple that range. I could easily shoot out to 100 and feel very confident, no problem at all. Most people with good eyes could probably do 200 to 300 yards adding a magnifier. But having both like this allows for close-up shots without using the magnifier. And then if you need it for distant shots, you literally just flip it over in place. So this is a nice setup. Another feature I didn't really talk about on the red dot is that it is IPX7 waterproof rated, which means it is submersible. I think like up to 30 minutes or so. So if you're out in the rain, hard rain, whatever it might be, that thing's going to be perfectly fine to continue to use. Now, obviously, putting a magnifier and a red dot, especially the magnifier, adds kind of significant weight to the top of your rifle here. But I will say that these both are very compact. I've had other magnifiers where if I wanted to leave my rear sight on, that it stuck out to like here basically. It was so far that I could not put my red dot on back here, and I actually had to go out onto the handguard a little bit. So this here, you can still keep everything back where it's supposed to be. And I didn't have any problems with the dot lining up through the magnifier. I've had others, like I mentioned earlier in the video, where I'd have to do all kinds of risers and mounts and stuff. And this here doesn't necessarily have to go with this red dot. It makes it more convenient, but you can really use any red dot that you want with this magnifier. And if your dot's not perfectly centered, you can adjust the magnifier to bring it to your middle point on there. And I honestly don't know if Monstrum makes the same optic with the green dot, but that would be like my suggestion because my eyes find green way easier than red. Still wasn't a problem though the day that I was shooting it, but I just prefer green over red. And one other thing I wanted to mention, I said earlier in the video that there weren't any markings to tell you your directions for, left, right, up, down, stuff like that. Once I was at the range and I started making some adjustments, I realized that under the turret caps, it does tell you. So let's talk pricing real quick. On Monstrum's website, the red dot is $70. The one that's 80 is like a FDE or tan or something like that. So $70 for the red dot, really good deal. And the magnifier is $120, also a really good deal. They also have an Amazon store, and if you were interested in getting both things at the same time, you can actually buy a combo for $155 on there. So I will leave that Amazon link in the video description. Or if you guys want to check out any of their other products, you can head over to monstrumtactical.com and get more information there. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.